Hello and welcome to our next group of interviewees. We're just traveling the globe today. So today we have with us Dika, who's joining us from Indonesia. We
Hi.
have Mahir from Mumbai in India. And we have Aditi, who's joining us from Kolkata in India.
Hi everyone.
We really are traveling, and no pollution, because we're traveling in our computers, so that's the best way at the moment. So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for, I would say, WordPress Translation Day, but actually it's turned into WordPress Translation Fortnight. Yes, you did hear that right. It has been 2 weeks of active translation across the globe. You wouldn't think it. It turned off with one event. We just started with one, and then everybody got the craze. So what do you want to do on a Saturday? You want to translate WordPress. Honestly, we're going to tell you why. So
Also,
Dika,
we came across a lot of good new people contributors as well.
we did, and we've borrowed a few for our show, haven't we? So we're going to go to Dika. So Dika, you have been a contributor for nearly a week and a half, maybe coming up to 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, a lot of experience already.
So really fresh to the project, and we're really, really glad to persuade you to come on here today. Because Dika was so enthusiastic that he took on the job of interviewing other contributors in the Indonesian project, which is fantastic. And he made the mistake of saying, I don't have a new contributor to interview. So we kind of looked at each other and said, that's okay, we can fix that. So he didn't quite realize what that would mean. And he certainly didn't realize that he would end up doing this live. So all of our recordings for the interviews are live, and you'll have to please be very patient if we have the usual things that happen with live, that lights, dogs, cats, anything really, anything could happen. But the key thing is that you're joining us, and we're really pleased that you are, and that you're going to be a contributor hopefully to the project. So Dika, you went to your first translation event last week as well, and I hear that it was very busy in the Indonesian community. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about how it went?
Okay, so we started with a presentation by the by the senior translator, and then afterwards we go into this community event, this group practice where we just translate together and we just translate together WordPress. So we put the group into two categories.
Okay.
One group is experienced translator.
Yes.
And the other group are people like me. So we are no new translator. So the experienced translator, they try to create a glossary that people can use when they are translating. And for us, we are translating the website. We are translating the website, and we are translating together. So each person got a page, translate a page, and then once they are done, they move to another page. It's really fun, actually. It's really fun. You can actually do like translaton or something. Where so you can actually make it into a monthly or event, and it's going to be fun.
It is, and I think keeping up that momentum is really important. So at the moment we're looking at doing having a month designated every 3 or 4 times a year.
I see.
Where meetups can pick a week in that month to do translation, so that it makes it easier to do something with other people. One of the things that we keep hearing is that if you know somebody else is running an event, it's so nice to join them. and it inspires people to do that. And I think that's definitely what's happened, Mahir. I think with what we've seen this last 2 weeks, that we've had, it started with one event, mini event, and just grown and grown. And people have been inspired to join other events that they don't even speak the language, just so they can actually feel part of it. And I know we've had reports back of people joining because they know people and they've just translated in their own language. Just it's that feeling of doing it together. And even if it's not the same language, just feeling like, oh, okay, someone else is, so I'll have a go too. Safety in numbers, I think it's as well. So you've seen a lot of that as well, Mahir. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, I was a part of 3 different events in this fortnight, and though I didn't speak the language, you could sense that feeling of happiness that a new person has come. That person is attending with us. Sharing their stories, sharing contributions, sharing experience, and it makes people think that even in this pandemic, they are connected to different parts of the world.
Just like we are today. So
Yes.
for people who are watching this after the event, we're traveling quite a lot. So we're traveling across Europe, Asia. We have contributors who are actually based in the States who are taking part in some way as well. And Australia, Australasia as a whole, we've got people coming in and out from, and it just carries on. I think probably most continents we have had some involvement over the past 2 weeks. And of course, this is our 5th series of events, because we've had 4 mini events that happened earlier in the year as well. And we're joined by Aditi, who actually took part in one of those mini events. So Aditi, thank you for staying on and coming back and talking with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
So Aditi, you took part in the mini translation event that happened for Bengali and for Bangla, and that was a great day. And you also, I understand, took part in encouraging people who were not translating into those languages, but into other languages. So do you want to just talk a little bit about the sense of working together that you saw?
Well, there were a lot of people who were actually, they don't have that kind of technical background, but they, after initially seeing us translating or doing out the whole process altogether, they were very much interested about, like, willing to start off with the whole process. So I would like to say that there were a mixed age of people, not only the youngsters. I really loved that. Moreover, the old age people, like, I won't say old age, but they are basically on the age of 50, 55, so on the older side. So those people were also very much interested into starting off with the translation thing. And about the ladies part, that thing I have to mention, that there during this whole event, which went on the whole week, there were a lot of ladies who does not have that kind of technical knowledge, but they were actually very much interested about contributing to the local community and WordPress as a whole. So there we had to guide them a lot in getting started, letting them understand that, yeah, these are the things which you need to do. And honestly speaking, once they started, they did have some problem in the initial stages, but once they started, they went on and on. And actually we saw that the results show that they actually enjoyed the whole process.
That's wonderful. And hopefully we can encourage them to share their stories too, to inspire other
Yeah.
women and men and everybody really to be involved. I know we've had contributors in their 80s as well, and younger, and it's really nice to see that. In fact, I think in your event in Kolkata, you had somebody who was 15 or 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
who came along and helped translate with his mum. So that's always good. And we've talked a bit about translating in families as well, which is always also fun to do and to keep the languages alive. So Dika, can you tell us a bit about what it's like to be translating English into your language and to make that accessible? Why does it make such a difference?
Okay, so I think that makes a whole lot of difference, because there are a lot of people in Indonesia who cannot speak English really well, and the fact that WordPress is being translated into our language is of something very, very good. Well, and I think the fact that we have so many languages in Indonesia, and not just the Indonesian language. And I can see that some of the local language also, WordPress also gets translated to some of the local language.
Okay.
Of course, the progress is not very good compared to English to Indonesia, but that's a start.
Yes, and I think that's nice when we can encourage all different languages to take part, because Indonesian is your national language, and you did very well on the strings, and thank you for your write-up, which you'll be able to share with people as well, about the amount of people that took part, the race to finish strings. In fact, there seemed to be a lot of competition happening during our translation fortnight, where different locales were seeing how many strings they'd done, and I heard there was even some sporting comparisons that were being made at one point. So I think we had stories of, well, we're converting the number of strings to cricket runs from one community in India, and another community we're translating it into football goals. So I think we're going to have some interesting charts that we produce at the end of this to show and represent how actually addictive translating can be. So Dika, in terms of being a new contributor, do you feel that it's quite a welcoming community to come and get started?
Oh, it's very welcoming. It's very welcoming. They are all so helpful, and they're also open, even to the dumbest question that I asked. So it's very welcoming. It's a very warm and tight-knit community. So I think part of the beauty of WordPress is the community itself. And some people might not be technically oriented, but still can find their place in WordPress.
And sorry, Mahir, do go ahead.
Just adding to it, in my earlier stages, someone told me, no question is dumb, because the people who are afraid to ask, at least you are indirectly helping them to get an answer.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, I'd wholeheartedly agree with that. And Dika, as a background, you're a developer.
Yes, I'm a developer.
So what kind of development do you focus on?
I do web design and web development, mostly with the focus on conversion optimization. And
you spend a lot of time in the WordPress environment in that?
Yeah, like 99% of my time,
okay.
Really.
So we'll have to encourage you to come and get involved with our core activities as well. So and introduce you to all the things that the marketing team do to support the communications of releases and developments that are happening in WordPress. So we always need developers to come and help with that. So do you think we can count on you to come in and do that and involve some of your colleagues as well?
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So basically, become a bridge between the core technical and the marketing, right?
Yes, we've got a nice little team that does that, so we can add you to that. So
nice.
So once you get introduced, there's no stopping you in terms of areas that you can get involved with in terms of contributing, and the range of things, and to discover new things. It's like a whole new world.
Without Aladdin.
Yeah, maybe I need to work on that. So
yeah, but I hope the genie is there.
I think that I think there's definitely people who we could class as that in the community, and I'm not sure about the magic carpet, but if there is a magic carpet, I can guarantee that Mihir, who's a really big influence in the Indian community and just generally, will be able to find it.
Can we replace the magic carpet with magic wapo?
That sounds a plan, or just give the wapo the magic carpet. So maybe that's what we need to do, you know, magic everywhere. So we have had some wonderful ideas that have come in throughout the week, and one of them was to do a regular WordPress hour where we actually featured people who are translating and what they're translating, so that people actually got to look at, okay, I might have a look at that plugin if that plugin is really highly used and people finding it easy to use for particular communities. Maybe I will have a go at translating that too. And we've also had people who've said, I've seen it translated in a language that I also speak. And actually, though I'm not going to translate that version into my language, but being able to hear it in that language or read it in that language, it's influenced me, and I want to try and do that now, and it will make it easier too. So that's a good thing too. So Aditi, because you've been involved in contributing, and you came to contributing through the Polyglots, and we have encouraged you to join the marketing team recently as well, and you've been mentored by one of our older contributors as well, who's he's in their 80s but has been developing and programming for probably a good 40 years. So how important do you think it is to have that mentoring ability and to have people coming and being mentored by others who speak the same language?
That's kind of important because, you know, while during the learning process you tend to ask a lot of questions, and if at that point of time your mentor is speaking another language and you're speaking another language, so it's creating kind of a hindrance between you and your mentor. You're not able to ask the question what you're trying to speak. Maybe you might not be comfortable in English, so that's creating kind of a hindrance. So someone who's there, for example, if I consider myself, if I've got a mentor of someone of other language and I don't know that language, so it will be a problem for me and I have to think twice in my mind before asking something to him. So if my mentor is also speaks the same language, then it's kind of a help for me and a win-win situation, so that I'll be able to learn, and each and every doubt I'm able to clear it.
It's very well explained, and you can see why Aditi and Nalini are actually helping build our program of language buddies, because they really passionately believe in the importance of it and have already put lots of ideas in place that we'll be taking forward and hopefully sharing with others. So if you'd like to get involved with that, come and find us on the marketing Slack, on the Make WordPress Slack, or just look out for things that are happening on WordPress Translation and in the LinkedIn for the WordPress marketing team. Mahir, is there anything else that you want to add before we close this segment?
Come join. You don't need to be a developer. You don't need to be a coder. Be a normal user. Come join. There are a lot of areas where you can come and contribute.
Dika, because you have enjoyed your first experience, what would you want to leave people with in terms of knowing and taking their first step?
I think their first step should be just jump to the water and experience the cold. It's like swimming, really. So when you are at the top of the pool, everybody is afraid to jump because it's cold, but it's not cold once you're in. So that's the WordPress community. Maybe some people are afraid because it's a new thing. It's they are afraid because they don't know anyone. But there are a lot of people who use WordPress without joining the community. I think for them, they just need to join. They just need to jump to the water and experience it, and then it's not going to feel cold anymore. It's actually warm.
I can see why you're going to be such a good fit for the marketing team. So we really are pleased, and in seriousness, if you are interested in joining, we have people who speak lots and lots of different languages from different parts of the country. If you want some help being linked up with somebody and you're not sure where your first steps are, or you're returning either to the Polyglots, to marketing, or any other of our wonderful teams, get in touch. Get onto the Make WordPress Slack. Join all the different teams that you want to, and they will make you feel welcome. Thank you, Dika. Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Mahir. And happy translating.